Here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please smash that subscribe button and get ready for a wild ride. We're going to be discussing all kinds of things that are happening out there in the world of geek fandom. We're going to be having a few fun and games along the way, and we will also decide who is this week's Geek of the Week. Now, in the quest to become this week's Geek of the Week, we're going to begin with our introductions round. My name is David Postansky, but I am going to now introduce all of our fellow panelists who will give you a random geek trivia fact, and I'll decide if I'm going to give them a bonus point for it. Gerald!
Hello, everybody. My random geek fact is the term security blanket originated from Charles Schultz's Peanuts, with Linus having his blanket.
From his penis? That's disgusting.
Blank.
Wow. You mean it was like his son that came up with it? There's just like, we got to understand the origin of these things.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Charlie Brown.
Okay, that's definitely worth a point. Okay, and so are his peanuts. Right, so, Dev, say hello to the people.
Hello, I'm Dev. And my geek fact of the week is the often hated Wolverine origins was actually really accurate in one regard. It was the first mainstream acknowledgement of Wolverine's real name, James Howlett.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's worth a point. Okay, and
Didn't they call him Jimmy? Didn't they call him Jimmy all the time?
No, in Wolverine origins, they called him Jimmy afterwards.
Cap, sock it to me.
Yes, I will sock it to you, but unfortunately I forgot to bring a Greek fact, but I'll make one up. So, contrary to popular belief from Warhammer 40k, is that chainswords would be a terrible melee weapon. Mainly because if you ever try to use, well, you probably wouldn't have used that, a real chainsaw against something flesh-wooden, but if you do that, it will get stuck. So it's not a very effective weapon to fight somebody.
Wait, hang on. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. American Psycho. Like, Dead Rising.
Dave, those are the people who, when they see a chainsaw, will run away, so they will probably get cut anyway. Not the same people with the knight armor or demons that will say, chainsaw, that's you, buddy. They're not the same people.
Like Doom.
See,
Like, there's loads of chainsaws. Yeah, go on, Dev.
I can actually explain that in a actually cooking term. There's also a place of cooking.
Dev, is this where we find out you used a chainsaw on someone?
No, but if you process meat using knives, they'll be more clean cut and even compared to a food processor, which is a spinning blade.
Ah.
That makes sense.
Yes, I've got my light.
And also, chainsaws get stuck. They're easy with wood because they don't stick. Wood is not sticky. It's dry and easy, so it goes through.
But you're discounting the fact that that's a super crazy sharp chainsaw that just cuts through anything like butter.
There you go.
That's the
Also,
explanation that Warhammer gives.
also, look, if I could have a chainsaw or an axe, right, and it's like, oh no, my chainsaw's got stuck, that's exactly the same as, boof, oh no, my axe has got stuck, I better pull it out and do it again. Oh look, it's just the same.
No, David, you won't be able to pull it out, and also the chainsaw will stop working if it has
now
wood in it.
I'm going to sound crazy because
I
I have an explanation for that as well. Because the cutting power of chainsaw relies on the motion of the chain. The cutting power of a axe relies on the sharpness of the blade.
So explain Chainsaw Man. There's no time that I ever saw that he got his chainsaw blade stuck in anything. It just went
He
blank.
was a demon! He was a demon!
I can explain that by saying the chainsaw in Chainsaw Man comes out of a dog's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Who is Chainsaw Man? What property is that from?
It's a Japanese
It's the wonderful world of anime, David.
Anime.
Explore some of it.
But look, if they don't mention it in Red Dwarf, I don't know. Okay, so guys, I'm sure there is stuff to react to, and like trailers, news, stuff like this, things we've seen. We'll have some fun and games. But okay, Cap, I will give you a point, even though chainsaws are awesome. Now, let's think about this a second. Deadpool and Wolverine is going to save Marvel, apparently. There's new pictures coming out of it. Apparently, it's projected to make like $160 million opening weekend or something insane. And that might be breaking all kinds of records. And the weird thing about it is that it's from the trailers, from everything that they've shown so far, other than like that they show like a giant Ant-Man skeleton. Like they're showing like old characters from the X-Men movies. Like who's in this one? Sabretooth. Sabretooth. Is it Toad is in this?
Pyro, Toad, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, and the female Charles Xavier.
Was she in anything before, or is she just...
No.
She's new in this. Okay.
She's a new one.
I was going to say I couldn't remember that character actually having been in, but literally the thing that's going to save the MCU is the X-Men Fox universe.
Take that, Marvel.
So like, who gets the last laugh here?
See, there's an additional reason on top of Disney. There's an additional reason Deadpool's going to succeed really well, because you know who they've got for marketing. Ryan Reynolds' own company.
Oh yeah, like Ryan Reynolds, like everything he does, like we said about this before, that now he's sort of like the lines between Deadpool and Detective Pikachu and actual Ryan Reynolds are, and his character in the what was it, the Fast and the Furious, and what was that one, Free Guy or something like this? In every single thing he plays a variation. Sorry? The one with the Rock. So Hobbs and Shaw, he basically played himself having like meetings with the Rock, and that was they just filmed it.
He's the Bosley, right?
I forget.
The Bosley type character.
Yeah,
so, he's the one that gives the missions.
Yeah, and he sits there and he just makes all these weird Ryan Reynolds like comments about as if him and Rock have got like joint tattoos the same and stuff like. It's just really Ryan Reynolds, and so his marketing is just Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds stuff. They film it, they put it out there, and people are like, "Oh, I wonder what Ryan Reynolds is up to," and then people go and pay to see the films.
That's like his Aviator Gin, if you've ever seen the ads for that.
Yeah.
And Mint Mobile. Yeah.
See,
I think there's a stigma against actors, right? People say that actors play great characters, but as a person, they're terrible, they don't have a personality. But Ryan Reynolds break that. He can't play great characters, but he's a great person with a great personality.
Wait. You're saying that Deadpool and Detective Pikachu aren't great characters?
I mean, I was remarking the acting ability of Ryan Reynolds. I mean, like, basically, if
he's not an actor's actor.
If you switch out the CGI, Pikachu is basically Deadpool.
Yeah.
So,
just the
since 1996, Wade Wilson has been playing Ryan Reynolds.
See?
Since 1996, Wade Wilson has been playing Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I think you're right, actually. Well, did anyone ever play that, like, PS3 Deadpool game?
Yes.
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds played that, and it's like, I'm just going to be this from now on, forever, in real life.
No. He's been like this since 95.
What, Ryan Reynolds has?
Yes.
Well, what would he do in 1995?
Well, that was after. That was before
that TV show.
Green Lantern and a bunch of other stuff, though.
Like that sitcom he did with like the roommates with the girl.
Oh, I don't know it. I don't know it, I'm afraid.
There's actually a video of like Ryan Reynolds reacting or playing a little bit of the modern Deadpool game. I assume that's the one you guys are talking about. The one that came out in 2008, I think.
It's called Two Guys and a Girl.
Two Girls in a Cup?
The game
What?
is called that.
Jesus. I didn't know Ryan Reynolds was in that. He played the Cup. That's unbelievable.
Anyway, So Deadpool and Wolverine, the reason why it's going to break all these records and save Marvel, you're skipping one of the main factors, which we were sort of,
What?
when we talked about it when the first trailer
Hugh
came
Jackman.
out,
We've just
you get to
completely
see
skipped him.
arms.
his guns. You get to see his
CGI
guns.
guns.
Covered up.
Yeah.
They were covered
CGI
up.
guns.
There's pictures that you don't see him anymore. So he somehow he has sleeves and he loses the sleeves. So
Yeah.
No, but Gerald, the arms are CGI. The arms are CGI now.
Also,
They're not Wolverine's real guns.
there was not going to be a Deadpool 3 until Hugh Jackman said, I wanted to do it.
Okay, so none of us
There's
have.
a video of
Go on,
the
Cap.
VR guy reacting to Wolverine, like his arms, and they figured it out. It's completely CGI. Hugh Jackman thought, you know what? The sleeves aren't working. But we
I said
can't
that
call
last
back Hugh Jackman to do arm day. Come on, what are you going to do? Let's CGI this shit.
No, I said that last week. Remember, because I said they couldn't expose his arms because of the melanoma, so they had to CGI his arms.
they seriously are CGIing his
They're
arms.
not CGIing his arms.
Wow.
I'm
No,
okay.
no,
Let's
they
fact
have.
check this.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Check the VR guys.
Okay.
The VR guys have done a video on it.
They've jumped the shark.
Sure.
Disney has way past jumped the shark.
Going from CGIing the claws to doing the arms.
Right. Let's have a look. Nobody going to talk about his CGI arms. No way. Hugh Jackman's arms in Deadpool and Wolverine are CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Let's bring this up.
I said this last week.
Yeah, Dev said, I didn't believe it, but then on the video, I was like, okay, Dev was right.
Yeah, but look, this is just some VFX expert suggesting that the trailers use CGI to create his arms. Oh, this is from the Corridor crew. I don't trust them guys. Look, if you've seen their stuff, it always seems good, but they put out 20-minute videos where they like re-edit something for like 7 seconds at the end of the the 20-minute video. And there was one where they, and look, credit to them, you know, some of the stuff they do is interesting. But they did a video where they were supposedly fixing The Rock in Scorpion King, and it wasn't better. So,
Yeah.
what are these
It
guys
was
now?
terrible.
Anyway? Yeah.
It was terrible.
Well, so I will say from one of the pictures it shows where his arms are crazy veiny, I would say that those veins are probably CGI'd on there. That's pretty creepy.
Well, okay, now we need to bring up photos of
But
his arms.
anyway, although it's not as bad as Henry Cavill's mustache, so I'm fine with it.
True.
Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got here. So, okay, open image in new tab. Let's see this. Oh my god, everything comes up small. I hate this stuff nowadays. Can't even see this. I've still got the same problem, guys, that this comes up so blurry, it's not even worth it. But look, so this actually adds to the mystery. That cannot be CGI arms.
I think it can be, sadly.
Yeah.
What?
That whole picture looks CGI because his head looks enormous compared to the length of
I
his
think
arms.
someone took like look no, but look at okay, hang on, look. Can you see my? I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen. Yeah, look.
Yep.
Look at the angle here. Someone has taken a photo.
Yeah.
There's some sort of weird perspective thing going on here. So like someone has taken a photo of like the movie theater screen because everything's a little bit warped. This wasn't a good example. I'll keep digging. I'll keep finding
You
something.
know the weird thing?
Well, check the one I pinged in the chat.
Oh, okay.
In that picture you just showed, Deadpool seems more real than Wolverine without a mask. For some reason in that picture.
Yeah. Yep, that was a interesting picture to say the least.
Okay, so let's bring up
Although,
your image here. Well,
Especially the one on his right arm.
the veiny one.
What in the
Yeah.
2007 Fantastic Four CGI is this?
yeah. I mean, this is almost Flash Baby level of badness. But okay, something I'm going to point out here. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So you'll see here that Deadpool is in the foreground, and the image of him is a lot sharper. This looks smoothed over because it's got like the bokeh effect of soft lighting being in the background. I think that's just like it's soft light. Maybe it's a composited image. You know, maybe they sort of did a little bit of airbrushing, but I'm sure they're his real arms. I mean, just imagine cutting his arms off for a movie.
No, because I know why they did it. They knew that, like, the fans wanted, like, sleeveless Wolverine, and this is the only time they're gonna get it. So, you might as well CGI it, better than that, have it.
Okay, so here's a question then. So, jumping the gun here, we haven't seen the film yet. I have to believe it's going to be good. Like, I can't believe this is going to be a bad film.
Yeah.
Is Hugh Jackman going to do more? Where is this going to end?
No.
Let's predict. Unless I don't think
getting
there's...
a Secret War.
Go on.
We're getting a Secret Wars cameo. That's about it.
Okay, so will it just be that there's whatever the final battle is, Doctor Strange portals will open, and suddenly the X-Men will come through, and then they'll leave again at the end?
Bye.
I'm gonna spoil it because I'm gonna try and make a prediction.
You're going to spoil it?
In the trailer. Yeah, nah.
Shit, Dev, you wrote this as well as killing people with a chainsaw. I didn't realise.
Yes. So we see the Doctor Strange portal in the trailer.
Ah.
I will bet that that portal will be at the end of the movie, and they're gonna end up in the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to add to it. I bet... What's Ned, or whatever the dude is from Spider-Man that had the Doctor Strange stuff? I bet Spider-Man ends up in this at the end. And we're going to have Spider-Man and Deadpool with their almost identical looking costumes. Just like having some sort of interaction.
Or you could have like the, was it 1970s, 1980s animated Spider-Man where Spider-Man's pointing to Deadpool and vice versa.
Yeah.
They did it in No Way Home.
Well, the point.
Yeah, with all the Spider-Man.
Yeah. They had the thing. Peter? Do you mean this Peter? That Peter? Yeah, absolutely.
Although I would be very happy to see a team up between Spider-Man and Deadpool. When it happened in the cartoons, it's the funnest episodes.
When the hell did it happen? Wait, which one?
The Ultimate Spider-Man, where Deadpool made a cameo, I think one episode, which was the funnest episode. I still love that one. Yeah, that's pretty much the only example I can give.
Yeah.
So.
Because I was gonna say, Deadpool's in X-Men, the animated series, but not Spider-Man.
I saw this. I'm not really sure if this is real or not because, like, I didn't see the '90s Spider-Man show. Was there an episode where Spider-Man goes to the X-Men and asks for help?
Yes,
something?
but that was an episode of Spider-Man.
Ah, okay. That's what I thought. Like, I saw a clip on YouTube, and I thought the X-Men animation was weird, so I assumed it was from the Spider-Man show.
Also, speaking about that, is it like late enough so I can spoil X-Men '97?
Yeah, go for it. Spoil it.
Yeah.
Statutes of limitations are passed.
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
Dave isn't on,
Mary
so it's
Jane,
okay.
and Flash showed up in X-Men.
Flash?
Thompson.
Not Flash.
Flash Thompson, not the Flash. Yeah.
That's why I was getting confused there.
They showed up in the last episode of X-Men.
Yeah, it was Daredevil, Avengers, like Captain America and Iron Man.
Cloak and Dagger.
Who?
Cloak and Dagger.
Do you know,
yeah,
it's so interesting overall with what Marvel are doing or not doing, or they might be fixing things. They must be trying to look at everything that's happened and everything that they're planning and trying to fix things. Because what has happened is you have X-Men '97, where it's like, it's just a sequel to what happened in the past. It's not in the MCU, even though we were supposed to do everything together. Then they, like, with Daredevil, they were going to do this whole new thing. They shot half of it and had to restart, and they brought back characters, and they were like, we'll just continue from where Netflix left off. But it was always ambiguous if Netflix shows were part of the MCU anyway. And, Cap, I will come to you in just 1 second, I promise you. Right, okay. And now we're in a position where there are so many threads that they have started that just literally aren't intertwining at all. That, like, you think of this. We're going to be, I think, about 5 years since the egg of the Earth had a hand come out of it, and that we had, like, not just one, but 2 new Captain Americas. And we set up Chris Evans, not Peggy Carter, but her granddaughter or whatever, was actually whatever villain she turned out to be. And what's been happening for the last 4 years? It's all just been chill. It's like they've forgotten every single thread. And look, they're going to do this series Agatha all along. By the time it comes out, we're going to be like, who was Agatha? You know, no one remembers that was just a gag at the end of, like, a Monsters, like, theme tune that they did. They're like, so disconnected. Okay, I'll come to you first, Cap, then Dev.
So the thing I'll say with Disney is that they are very not good at learning their lessons. I mean, they always had a wider amount of data to see what works and what doesn't work. But for some reason, even with their successful data, they seem not to do that. See, they did Pixar, they did Inside Out 2, which is now $1 billion now. Finally, a Pixar movie has crossed over $1 billion. And they're like, great, okay, we need to recreate that. And then instead of doing that, they're like, next is Toy Story 5. No, we hated Toy Story 4. We don't want that story to continue. Just vary it. And even with the same thing's going to go with Marvel. And think about the first example that they ever done, which was Star Wars. They did one good thing as Mandalorian, and 2 seasons were great. And they fumbled up Boba Fett, and they should have been like, you know what, we need to go back. We need to go back to season 1 Mandalorian. They didn't. Now they're doing Acolyte, which messes up the whole canon of the Star Wars rules. Like, they never learned their lesson. There's always too many moving parts and too many egos behind production. I think that's one of the main problems, is that they don't really care about how canon works or how successful it is. All of their own egos want to do something, and they would do it. That's how basically Disney is running now. It's not a very concentrated working cog of a machine as it used to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Disney, and the problem with this, well, there's probably a few problems, but one of the biggest problems is that they suddenly were like, we're making Disney Plus. And it was an absolute scramble of obviously allocating massive budgets, not spreading like the really good people too thin, no one overlooking Star Wars, no one overlooking Marvel, probably no one overlooking what's happening at Pixar. It's just like, we need more and more. Oh, we're going to remake every old Disney thing as some live-action disaster. And everything for them has just kind of like imploded. So, yeah, good for them that Inside Out 2 has crossed $1 billion. That's unreal, really. You know. But go on. I forget, Gerald, you just had your hand up. I don't know if we come to you yet, Dev.
Yeah, so real quick on it, I mean, one of the things we've talked about off and on is and to your point, elaborating on the Disney Plus thing, is basically it was this push and scramble for quantity of content rather than quality.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, again, we've seen that over probably at least the last 5 years, and it was a little bit before then, but really the last 5 years has been crazy bad with that. The other one I want to call out too is the South Park special that was called about the Commanderverse. And specifically, the thing that's sort of funny about it is, like, they make fun of the whole thing where, you know, characters are coming in, they're re-imaging or reimagining, like Ghostbusters, bringing in female characters and stuff like that. And I get that, but the thing that was really interesting that they made a couple points at, which is dead on, is basically it's just this machine to, like, redo the same thing, which Cap and David mentioned is like, what we made money on that, okay, let's make another one, and they just try and basically mint money, and it worked for years, and it's sort of caught up to them now.
But I don't think they're even doing that one now, because, like, if they're following their success, that's not happening anymore. They're not doing that. Well, that's long gone now.
Well, like the live action or the CGI and live action ones from the cartoons, they had a couple successful ones, and they're like, oh, we're just going to start doing that with everything. And then it's like, well, why was it successful? It wasn't successful because it was CGI live action. There was a reason, because of the story.
Okay, well, let me just throw into that, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, but was the first one Maleficent? Was that the first one, or was it Cinderella first? Because And then we got like Beauty and the Beast, but like, so you did Maleficent. That wasn't a remake. That was telling the story from the villain's perspective.
Oh, exactly.
And then after that, they were like, "Oh, Cinderella,
Younger one was
Beauty and the Beast. Let's just do the exact same things again." And and because they went down that route, because Beauty and the Beast it's not bright. It's kind of dark and grim. Jungle Book made it. Now, Jungle Book, when you watch the original story, like the original movie, is kind of a bit almost like there's this segment, there's this segment. It doesn't really feel like one cohesive thing. And like within there, they made it a bit darker and grittier, and they added more weight to the story. And I was like on board with it. Then they sucked the life out of Lion King, and after that, they've just like had no going back. They're just like soulless, like reimaginings. To the point, like by the time, what was that one they did a couple of years ago? Cruella. It's just like I think that tried to get back on board of, well, we'll put a spin on it. No, I thought it kind of like failed, because and what they end up doing is that they kind of ruined the character for what its original intention was.
I would say that was the terrible movie to experiment on.
Yeah.
She's not a redeemable villain. There's this thing I have to point out. This is to Dave MC. He showed me there's like a musical of Jafar or something, and there's a line where the villains come and they tell their perspective and for their evil ways. Jafar makes a case that he was a street lad like Aladdin and he came right throughout the ranks. And Gaston was like, well, yes, I was just like, that's how I was at that time, and the beast in the building is not healthy. And every villain makes the case. Even Scar is like, I was a revolutionary, I was like bringing the hyenas, I was creating a new community. But then Cruella shows up, and she's like, all I wanted to do made go down on puppies, and all the villains go, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like that's when you've got like Scar. You could, like, even in the Lion King remake, they added a little bit of extra detail about, oh, Scar and Mufasa had some fight before, and that he'd won his bride or something. Now, you could go back and there's some unrequited love story, and perhaps, the much larger lion, Mufasa, was always getting the attention, and Scar kind of turned into this bad thing. Cruella, she just wants to kill dogs. I'm not on her side.
I think the line. There's also a book that Lion King was based on, but there's also some books that Disney kind of did some books with Lion King as well. And right now they're doing a CGI prequel, but this is again a waste because there's still the motionless lion. But
one thing.
Yeah.
They ripped off an anime.
Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing. If they had gone with an animated prequel or series or even a movie with Mufasa and Scar, I think that would work. There's already speculation is that like Mufasa's dad, Assadie, was a favoritive father who only favored Mufasa and did not favor Scar, that kind of had issues with Scar and stuff like that. Again, you could have made a compelling prequel, which could have been good, I think, instead of right now doing a CGI prequel, which kind of disrupts where they say they are both orphan lions. Mufasa and Scar, for some reason, they're not son of a prime lineage of lions. That kind of belittles the speech that Mufasa gives to little Simba when they say, look at the stars, all the past kings are there. But not your dad, you're an orphan.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly go through everything I was going to say. First of all, the MCU thing. The reason it seems like such a disconnect right now is because they had about 10 years to build a universe, and like it's been what 6 years since Endgame, and they're rebuilding a new the universe basically, but it's still not connected. Remember, it took Avengers about 4 years to actually happen just from the beginning.
I think there's also the other thing where when Marvel was starting out before like the Endgame and Infinity War, no one was like really jumping on the superhero bandwagon unless the people who were really passionate about doing superhero stuff.
No, like the first event before Infinity War. You see, no, like it
Yeah,
was
that's
huge
the thing.
from the first Avengers film. It was massive. That was like $1 billion.
Yeah, I would still say that the whole Infinity War and Endgame was the big wake up call for all the actors, directors, and I say, oh, let's just do a superhero movie, everybody. I think that's where everyone alarm bells rang off. We're like, we need to do this shit. And then Disney Plus was coming up, and everyone was like opening their own streaming platforms, and everyone was like, we want our piece of the pie. Let's do a superhero show. And none of them are superhero shows. Most of the shows that they did. So I think that's the problem. They just have like too many people who are not passionate about superheroes or anything like that, just doing their own different things.
Well, it's a corporation rather than for the art or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically making money. That's the focus.
Yeah. Go on, Dev.
And as Joe said, that he was saying he was worried about how Marvel was going to go in the way of Star Wars. But was they had no overarching leader. It was literally like 12 different people doing whatever they want. And in fact, midway through a movie, midway through the series of movies, they swapped directors.
Yeah.
So the plot lines literally got dropped, and the manual was literally, I was going to do this, but you do whatever you want. And the funny thing about Star Wars, Disney and Marvel is the first well-received Star Wars TV show or property was Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Who directed it?
That was Jon Favreau.
Who directed Iron Man?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like,
Well, he also directed Lion King.
yeah, that's true. But he
Yeah,
also
that's
directed
God,
Jungle
but
Book,
yeah.
right? Okay, but okay, I'm going to come to Jon Favreau's defense there. So he directed Iron Man. He got the clay and he molded it. When it came to Mandalorian, he's like, right, I've got this clay. I'm gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
And Jungle Book, I'd say he looks at it and it's like, okay, I'll do something with it. Then when it came to Lion King, I kind of feel like they were like, no, it's got to still be the same as the original. And it's like, it is the same as the original, but also the graphical style. If they put, like, if the Corridor Crew guys want to actually fix something, put smiles on and, like, expressions on those animals' faces,
Yeah.
it will lift it 500%. Then all they have to do is fix the rendition of Be Prepared, because it was the best song in the movie, and then just, it'll be fine.
There's a picture of it online where they did the Sonic thing with Simba. They kind of CGI'd the 2D Simba into the 3D one. And I think I would look at that. I would happily look at that one.
I think the other major misstep they had too was they had enough sense to keep Mustafa as was James Earl Jones, but they didn't have enough sense to keep Jeremy Irons as Scar.
Yeah.
And, like those are like iconic voices.
Yeah.
So you got one, but not the other.
Well,
And he was phoning it in.
hang on, but also...
Like phoning it in, he was like, I'm too old for this shit.
But also, right, Nathan Lane is Timon. And, you know, I forget the actor's name who plays Pumbaa. But, look, whether or not you bring back Matthew Broderick as Simba, his voice, because he's meant to be, like, the youthful, like, lion who's just, like, a young adult, perhaps he'd reached a point where he doesn't sound like that anymore. But, for goodness sakes, Jeremy Irons, James L. Jones, Timon and Pumbaa, and, like, Rowan Atkinson as well. Who did they replace him with?
You got John Oliver? Who is he?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
completely agree. Now that you point out the other voices, like they've crumbled big time on those.
They did like a celebration during the musical, right? Where they had Jeremy
Yes.
Irons playing Scott.
Yes.
And Nathan Lane also did one of the anniversaries. They came and sang the old Freedom of Title song.
And
I would also say the other thing with the difference between the Jungle Book and the Lion King was, I would say Jungle Book is a much older Disney movie, where basically I would say for me, Lion King was a really fun watch, while Jungle Book, some of the stuff where I like not really paying that much attention. If you ask me which is the better movie, the animation, Jungle Book or Lion King, I would say the Lion King, because it had better music, better animation, and better action in it. So again, there was a lot more room for it to improve upon, But this is the criticism that I gave to the Jungle Book remake. I love the movie, 99% of it. The 1% I didn't like is the one where Mowgli didn't choose to go to the human village. They changed the ending where it's like, I'm going to be in the jungle. Which I thought that defeats the whole point of the story.
Cap, you misspoke. They were like, I'm leaving the option for a sequel. That's what the ending was there. Right. But also...
Yeah, but the animated movie also had a sequel. He came back to the jungle.
Yeah, but they made that 40... They did it 40 years later. What I was going to say is that the other mistake they made is they changed King Louis from an orangutan into a Gigantopithecus, and it was stupid.
Yeah, but it was fun. I didn't hate it. It was Christopher Walken.
It was Christopher Walken. See, look, that isn't up. Well, King Louis' voice, obviously, great. Look, you had such iconic voices, like the Baloo voice. Like, what was the Scar was like Winnie the Pooh's voice.
Idris Elba was voicing Shere Khan. Idris Elba was voicing Shere Khan.
Was that better though? Yeah, well, like, to be honest, I don't even remember the original. But like, you had Winnie the Pooh as the snake. And like Baloo, obviously, if you watch Tailspin and stuff, it was the same voice. You always had Baloo in different things. And then look, they went with Bill Murray. That was like, okay, it's Bill Murray going to do some Bill Murray stuff. And Christopher Walken. So they upgraded things. Lion King. Was there anything that was an upgrade?
Beyonce was in it.
But like, to be honest, I wouldn't even recognise her voice if you played a clip of it now.
That is true, though.
Okay, Gerald.
So you mentioned Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've mentioned it on Geek Battle, but Garfield is coming, and Christopher Pratt, if I'm thinking correctly, is going to be the voice.
I hate it.
Yeah. He's someone that can just do one voice and it's him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so just very quickly, I want to share with you, I found... Unfortunately, it's not video, but I was going to be a bit nervous about sharing the video anyway, so I'll just skip through it. This is how they reimagined it Sonic the Hedgehog style. And that would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Just this
is
amazing.
Yep.
Like, that looks fantastic. I want to go and, like, pet this. But when the face doesn't have, like, the eyebrows that go up, it's like, there's no point to it. Look at that. That's incredible.
That is what I want.
Yes.
That I want.
That's amazing. Like, whoever this artist is, like, Disney need to learn from, like, the one time Disney learned was after Mandalorian and into Boba Fett. That the artist that fixed the dodgy... Look, when they first brought back Luke Skywalker, we were like, oh my god, that's amazing. 1 year later, some guy on the internet was like, I can do that better. And then they hired him, and when they had him in, like, the Book of Boba Fett, it looked so real that you couldn't tell that it wasn't 30 years earlier Mark Hamill.
Yeah. This, I don't know, Disney. I don't know. Get your shit together. That's all I can say. Get your shit together.
Oh, hang on. I found how they fixed Scar. Oh, this one's interesting. This one... Yeah, okay, just check this out. Like, there's something about that looks really good, but there's also something that looks a bit too human. I don't know what. There's something slightly strange about that one.
Do you know why?
Tell me.
Because Scar was the only lion who had the actor's likeness.
Okay, oh, did they fix Timon?
Yeah, they made him look like Trey Lyons in the original cartoon.
Oh, wow.
Show us Mufasa.
I don't know if they do. Like, I'm trying to scan through. I don't think there's that many. Oh my god, is that... That's amazing. That's amazing. Look at Rafiki.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there is a Timon and Pumbaa, though. I'm just trying to scan through quickly. Don't want to actually play the video, because it'll only cause problems. Yeah, exactly. No, but how about that? But yeah.
If you go back to the middle, there was Mustafa.
Was that was the
Mufasa.
It's been a while.
Mustafa. Oh, that was good old Mustafa there. Right.
I would say for me, Mufasa, again, in the Lion King, my favorite line was Mufasa. I think the drawing of that is like so good, and the voice was like perfect for that one. I think they purposefully they made Simba a little bit weaker than his father, and I really like the fact that it is. And there's a joke in Fresh Prince where Will Smith amps up Uncle Phil that you are the king of the jungle, Mufasa. You run this house. But then his daughter comes in and hi, sweetie, how you been? Everything's been nice. And then Will Smith looks at him and goes, man, you're nothing but Simba.
Okay, so I've got the Luke Skywalker stuff. Once again, everything's like a tiny image. Let's just click on it. Hopefully it'll come up bigger. No, like, okay, so click on the image. Okay, that one's big. Let's see if we can find from Mandalorian as well. Oh, okay, look, so this actually shows both images. Let's click on this. Will they have a decent sized image? That will do. Right, so on the right is the one they had in Mandalorian, and on the left, when you see it, is what they had in the Book of Boba Fett. And it's just like, it's ridiculous. This one looks like a photograph. This one is the Uncanny Valley. And like, and when you see it in motion, like this one, it was like, oh my god, that's so cool when they did it. But like a year later, it suddenly made this look so bad. It was that experience of when you go back to watch the original Jumanji and you see like the CGI rhinos and realise that you must have been absolutely insane to be impressed in 1995.
But I think that one of the reasons why we didn't really see the Uncanny Valley for the first one is that we also got really captured by nostalgia. When we see Luke kicking ass and beating robots, and we're like, oh yes, Luke is back, baby! That's the rush that we're going on. And then the second one, they even made it better. They're like, oh yeah, that was kind of a little fucked up. But it's better now.
Okay, so, Cap, I want to say this. When Toy Story 1 first came out,
it was uncanny.
Nobody knew how bad it was. And then you look back and you look at the everybody, and you notice all the kids around you.
Yeah, I noticed it because then I saw Toy Story 2 first in 2007. So I didn't see the first one yet, and by that point, like, CGI cartoons are a little bit better. So I saw Toy Story 2, and I saw Toy Story, like, oh my god, they're all the same people, they're weird. Humans are weird. But still, I didn't mind it.
Okay, guys, so let me ask you a question here, topic of discussion. First of all, what is the worst CGI? We may have covered this slightly in the past because it sounds familiar now I'm saying it. The worst CGI you've ever seen in something which had a respectable budget, something that was meant to be good. Like, we could just go straight to The Rock. Scorpion King, Henry Cavill's mustache, and of course the babies in Flash.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so recent, and I don't know how much money they had in it, but I would imagine it was a boatload, and it just was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mummy didn't have that much. I think Mummy was also technologically kind of limited, but also the vibe of the Mummy was campy. It was really campy.
Yeah, and Mummy was pretty good comparatively to The Rock and Scorpion King. That was just, it was bad.
When was it they first was it around that kind of time they first started just to think like, yeah, we can do people that look like people? Because look, when we had Terminator 2, it still looks good. And basically they were like, well, all we need to do is have it look metallic and move the same, and it's going to blow people's minds. And when you think, then there was like Jurassic Park, it looked amazing. And then we started getting, what was it, like on The Mask, it's like, well, of course it looks good, because one, they've made it look cartoonish, but also it's The Mask, so it doesn't have to look like human skin. And they were like, it was like in the 90s, they were like, well, we can't do this good, so we have to use it in clever ways. And then suddenly, like, do you remember the film Hollow Man? Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, the Invisible Man? Like, the CGI of, like, just stuff where you saw, like, inside him as his skeleton, or, like, his flesh was disappearing. That looked really good, but the whole point was we were seeing inside a human, and it took them years. Like, it always astonished me that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter came out in the same year, or like the same couple of months.
It's It's because of budget allocation.
But also, I think it was also to do with innovation. Like, the guys that works on Lord of the Rings elevated everything. Because when they had, like, the troll monster thing in the first Harry Potter film, and then you see, like, the troll thing that they up against in the first Lord of the Rings film, it's like, Lord of the Rings is here, Harry Potter is, like, way down there. And then the next year, when they had Dobby and Gollum side by side, it was like, oh my god, like the Lord of the Rings thing, whatever they're doing in New Zealand is a billion times better than what's happening in the States and the UK, you know.
But there's also a thing with Harry Potter, I would say, is that as a kid, we would, like, they had different tones. Harry Potter, I was whimsical, but Lord of the Rings was dark, gritty,
Well,
so I kind of...
Yeah, hang on, but you say that, as soon as they got to the third Harry Potter film, suddenly everything was grey and blue and looks amazing.
It's because of the 90s kids, David. They were into
Also,
constant stuff.
I need to really interrupt this thing and remember one thing. I found better CGI than Rock just now. This is amazing.
What have you found?
The greatest CGI ever.
Okay, let's bring it up.
Oh, yes.
The greatest CGI ever.
Oh yes, the Twilight baby.
Okay. Ugh! What is this? What is this?
The Twilight baby.
That's, oh my god! That's meant to be a human.
But hey, this is the one that they decided to show on the vote. There's an even freakier one out there that they didn't show.
Oh my god.
Somebody leak that footage. Somebody please leak that footage.
No.
There's a Helsing parody. Helsing is a really good anime of Dracula, which I would highly recommend. There's a parody called Helsing Umbridge, where they like did the Twilight thing where Edward and Bella were talking like, "Oh, Edward, your skin is so strong that someone knocks on the door," and it's Alucard, he shoots them and he goes, "Who are you?" "A real fucking vampire." I love the fact that in the 2000s we were making fun of Twilight and the superheroes were like awesome. And the tables have instantly turned the
Have they?
Like,
Well, like, we might be making fun of like superheroes now, but when did Twilight make a comeback?
Twilight were making fun of Twilight. I mean, like, that was the joke of everything in the 2000s. Yeah.
The best Batman is Edward.
Yeah, I'll give him that. And I wouldn't say he's the best Batman. He's in a good movie, but Dark Knight is
Batman.
Yeah. And for me, the reason was because, like, the thing with Batman, I want Batman to be physically imposing as possible. Reason because he's a human battling criminals.
Okay.
And in the movie, he got his ass whooped by a lot of people, and he does drugs to fight people. Okay, he just takes the adrenaline shot to do it.
Guys, I'm going to take a slight risk here, right? I'd be amazed if this copyright dings me. But if you never saw it, now obviously this isn't CGI that's meant to look realistic, but in the mid to late 90s, there was a cartoon series based on Donkey Kong Country. If you've never seen it.
Oh god, I remember that.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Now I'll only play it for a few seconds so you can get some of the flavour of their CGI quality. But the thing was, so just to set this up, CGI kind of became a thing. Yeah, there was Terminator and Jurassic Park, but whole things looking CGI and stuff like this. Within the same 1 year when we got Toy Story, which was like, oh my god, you could do a whole movie like with these effects. You also got the video game Donkey Kong Country, which took things from looking like pixels and suddenly looks like Toy Story. And it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So then it was like, well, it's obvious, it's a no-brainer. Make an animated film or TV show of Donkey Kong Country. This was the results. Wait for this when I play it. Wait for the close-up. Oh my god, it's so bad.
It's a monkey made out of shit.
It's so bad.
I don't know if you remember or not, but they were probably late 90s, early 2000s. There were like children's-oriented programming that had like really weird, upsetting graphics like that too, where again they're like very robotic.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're just sort of sliding around, and literally the mouth just looks like someone's got a sock on their hand.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
It's, but you know, that's why like none of the kids watch those shows. All the kids watch the 2D animated shows. No one watched the 3D CGI cartoon shows until I think probably like the series I remember is Penguins of Madagascar, which I think like came out in 2008 or 2009 or something like that. Madagascar was technically good.
There is a show that I enjoyed in the early 2000s called Ace Lightning.
Ace Lightning?
Yes, it was a superhero video game CGI show on the BBC by a Canadian company.
The name rings a bell. Okay, so let's bring. So here it is for reference. If you don't.
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, that was one of the ones.
So there it is for reference. I mean, that doesn't look too bad just in the still images.
Yeah, it was a live-action CGI hybrid where the video game characters came to life,
Yeah.
and came to real life, and fought the villains and tried to go back to the world.
Okay.
The
Okay. Well, that if it's just CGI characters in the real world, that will help it so much.
Yeah,
The other one, if I'm remembering correctly, that was really bad is when they did like the live-action Captain Planet. And
They
it was,
did a
like,
live-action
CGI.
Captain. Are you sure? That wasn't like a
I
parody,
thought it was a
right?
parody.
That was a parody.
Oh, I don't
I think
know.
that was a parody. Was it Don Cheadle?
Yeah. There's something that was like that they did, and it was awful. Captain Planet was what popped in my mind, but that must not be it. There's
Yeah,
something
it
that
was
they
Don
redid.
Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle was
parody.
Captain Planet.
and he
Yeah,
just makes everyone into trees.
It's funny how online stuff like that ends up being real, because a few years ago before Cobra Kai, we discussed how I made about led to Cobra Kai, right? The boss?
Yeah.
But before that, FunnyOrDie.com made a show about Ralph Macchio grown up.
Oh, cool. Well,
Everybody sees him as a Karate Kid.
that's because he is the
I
Karate
think
Kid.
grown up.
He's in his 60s now and he still can't escape it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a new movie. There's gonna be a new movie with Jackie Chan in it now, so I'm glad I'm gonna see that.
Like, this is a nice segue to that. The new trailers for season 5 just came out.
Yeah. Do you know what? I genuinely, even though I probably should have for this, right, for Geek Battle, I didn't watch it just because I kind of didn't want any spoilers at all. But
What happens, David, is that they abandon karate and they start doing MMA.
the MMA kid. Oh my God, Cap! That needs to be a movie. That needs to be a film. That's such a good idea. The MMA kid. Oh wow.
There's currently one of my favorite fighters is Yuri Prohaska, and I think he kind of comes from a karate background. I think because he keeps his hands low instead of like covering up, and he just like got massive head kicked and lost. And I was like, "Yep, that's why karate don't work, folks."
Yeah.
It
was so
some of
weird.
those old MMA ones, yeah.
It was so weird, in one of the last couple of seasons of Cobra Kai, where it was like 40 years later, LaRusso suddenly is like, what, you can't always just defend? Sometimes you need to go on the offensive. It's like, well, duh. Otherwise you can never get started. You can't just be like, come to me. It's like, no.
I'm gonna Tai Chi this
Yeah, like
shit.
Chosen was just like destroying him or something. Yeah.
Like, I remember watching this fake fight where, was it Aikido or Judo? The guy's like, you need to attack me, or I just can't do anything.
Yeah.
So the other guy wins by doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
speaking of Aikido, have you ever seen the bits where Steven Seagal was trying to push it as one of the dominant fighting styles?
Yeah.
He didn't do it. Here's the thing. Steve Steven Seagal gave lessons to Anderson freaking Silva. And Anderson freaking Silva was humoring him all the way. He was like, yeah, just tell me how to do that. Now, there's a clip where you can see, like, again, Anderson Silva is one of the greatest MMA mixed martial artists of all time. That dude does Matrix for real. And he was like, you know what? I don't think that was the funniest thing. But, and everything happened to one. Seagal took credit for that. Like, I showed him that move. That's how Anderson did it.
Well, but have you seen the old videos? Like, this was probably in the early 90s, late 80s, where he has these guys attacking him, and he's, like, just pushing them away with like, one finger or something. He's like, oh, man.
One finger and, like,
yeah.
And you know the weird thing? Aikido is still a thing. People don't do it. They have to
there's Aikido, and then there's whatever Seagal.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, listen to this story. This is a story. Okay, in 1991, Steven Seagal doubted Jean-Claude Van Damme's legitimate fighting credentials. Sylvester Stallone later told a story about a party he threw in 1997. Van Damme and Seagal came face to face, and Van Damme offered Seagal to step outside for a fight. And then Van Damme said, I waited outside for 2 hours and he never came. Oh man, just like, look, you think nowadays where we get all this celebrity boxing and stuff like that, wouldn't it just be brilliant? Like, somehow, if you could, like, time travel and go into the multiverse. This needs to be the movie that they make with the CGI, where just like someone like us, we're running a podcast, and we're like, we can like go through time, and we're like, Seagal, Stallone, Van Damme, fight! Like this, and we make them fight. And then we will actually learn who is the toughest guy from the 80s and 90s.
Write this up, this has got legs.
Yeah.
The last time Star Wars 2 wasn't it was Stallone and Van Damme. It was Seagal and Van Damme. It would have been amazing.
Wait, in what?
Yeah, it's in the Expendables 3.
Was it 2 or 3?
In the Expendables 2, Van Damme is the bad guy.
Yeah, that
was
one.
Seagal fighting him with Stallone.
Yeah, do you know what? I love that. Spoiler for that, though. I just love that, like, after whatever happens, Stallone just comes out and he's got Van Damme's head in a bag. But
although Sylvester Stallone tried to get Seagal in that movie and tried his best to get him in that movie, but for some reason he couldn't.
I think he said flat out no because Van Damme was there. Like, there's hatred.
Also, fun fact about that, like Van Damme in that movie, his name is Gene in that movie, right? And he said he wanted to come back in the sequel as Claude, his son brother Claude.
oh my god, what is his name's like Gene Villan, isn't it? And he's playing the villain. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's something like that, like Villan or something.
I would say it's such a fun movie because, like, in the end fight, right? John will, I'm not the bullets, and then that's your problem.
Okay, has anyone here seen the Expendables 4?
Yes.
I never saw
box?
it.
No.
Okay, so Expendables 4. Oh yeah, I'll tell you who. Well, this is what I was going to say. It's like, now obviously Bruce Willis, you know, his health or whatever, you know, it's not going to happen. I don't think Schwarzenegger came back for this one, and it just feels like, was it like people were aging out? Because I think like Jet Li, last time I saw anything of him, he looked really old. Like he looked really in bad shape, you know.
Yeah.
So for Expendables 4, the cast had Jason Statham, 50 Cent, Dolph Lundgren. One of my favourite stories with him is he was meant to die in the first one. He was like, please, somehow let me survive. And then at the end, like, even though he'd turned heel on them, he'd become a villain. He's just there getting patched up and everything's cool. Just because he's like, oh, if you make another one, I've got to be in it. So, like, Lundgren's held in there the whole time. Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, don't know who that is. Iko...
Oh, that's Ong-Bak.
Okay, I can't even pronounce some of these names. Stallone is like the 7th build. Is he barely in it?
Oh, so, should I tell you, like, can I spoil it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
He kind of explodes in the beginning and then shows up.
They killed Stallone.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Oh no! Do you know? I'm not gonna lie, Dev. I regret having that spoiler because I just never imagined it. Right? Okay. He'll be back. He'll be back. Okay, Randy Couture is just like, I know that he's in the, like, when they assembled the first one, they were like, well, we've got Jet Li, we've got Jason Statham, we've got Sylvester Stallone. Schwarzenegger and Willis were like, we don't really want to be in this movie with you, until they saw it was a hit, right? But they were like, oh, we need more guys. And then they were like, Randy Couture, you're an Ultimate Fighter. It's like, and yet he's still hanging in there, even though he's not an actor. And then who else we got?
But it had an awesome fight with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Randy Couture. That was the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, like genuinely, looking at the cast
here.
here.
Yeah, but the thing with David is like Randy Couture, again, he's a great British martial artist, but he's not a star like Stone Cold. It would have been made sense if they had like Rampage Jackson with Stone Cold. Like, people know that name.
But you know what, like, okay, so like, but Expendables 4, I don't know if it was like a cinema release or straight to streaming or whatever.
I think it was cinema.
Well, okay, yeah, like the fourth one, like Andy Garcia is in it, and like, yeah, he was in some movies, but he's not a big action movie guy. I associate him more with like gangstery, villainy sort of stuff.
Yep.
But like the first few, like when you go into the Expendables 2 and see what the cast was, Stallone, Statham, Jet Li, Lundgren, Chuck Norris, Terry Crews, Randy Couture, Liam Hemsworth, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then look, and then fairness to them, number 3, when you go on to the third one, the cast is Stallone, Statham, Antonio Banderas, Jet Li, Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, Kelsey Grammer. How the hell did he get into this movie? Kelsey Grammer, Randy Couture, Terry Crews, Ronda Rousey, shit man, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford. Like, oh my god, this is like the greatest cast lineup ever.
Well, that's the thing. If you could have done it 20 years ago, it would have been 10 times greater than it was.
But here's the thing, they have done them now. But, yeah, Marvel have done it.
The problem is, David, they ran out of action stars.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
No. Okay. Expendables 5. Expendables 5. We have not had Keanu Reeves in this yet. He is someone from this era. But it is now long enough where if Expendables 5 and Robert Downey Jr. turns up at the end, we'll accept it. They are all... Chris Evans, the Avengers are just going to reassemble. They are now old. You saw Thor Love and Thunder. He was hench, but he was looking tired.
But I would say this, though. Like, compared to the 80s void rage and the 90s edginess, Keanu Reeves, I would give it to you, is a legit action star. But I would say the action star of our genres from the superheroes, I can't find them as action stars. They're great as superheroes, but I think Hemsworth has his own thing with, what is that thing that he did, the action movie Netflix? He's okay, I would give it to him. But like, Chris Evans was a playboy. That's his thing.
Okay, look. Will Smith, it's his time, you know.
Okay.
Go on, Dev.
David.
Yeah.
There is actually a pseudo Expendables 5 with modern action stars. The Ministry of Underground Warfare.
I don't know this. What is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Henry Cavill stuff.
The Ministry of Underground
Henry Cavill, phooey. Look, after Argyle, I'm done with that guy. Right.
I would say he's the only
cast of the movie. Probably also all modern.
Okay, Ministry. Okay, let's check this out.
The only other action star I recognize was the guy from Reacher, and he's not even that big of a star yet.
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Okay, let's check this out.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
The guy from
Carrie Elwes is in it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm getting on board with this. Carrie Elwes is in it. Let's see who else. There's a guy his name is Hero. That's good. That's a good sign. No, I don't know any of these other guys.
Henry Golding from The Gentleman.
I don't know, I'm afraid. See, all of these might become like huge stars later, but I don't know them now. But okay, but
Again.
who is a good action star who is under 40 years old?
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham has to be 161 years old now.
He's probably like 50, 55, I would say.
Jason Statham. I mean, like Eddie Murphy. Look, I haven't seen the Beverly Hills Cop movie
Eddie
yet.
Murphy's not an action star, David.
Beverly Hills Cop would argue with that. You know, he had a few action films. Honestly, you know, you can't. It's
What
not.
about British?
It's not
What
all
about British Ryan
donkey.
Reynolds?
Who?
Scott Adkins.
Scott. Yeah, but he was just sort of a little bit of a no one. He was he was in the DVD bargain bucket, right?
That's the sad part about
Bargain bucket. That's KFC. What am I saying? What is it? What's the term I'm looking for? He wasn't in the bargain bucket from KFC. What is it? What's the term I'm looking
Bargain
for?
bin.
Bargain bin. There you go. Bloody hell, I'm hungry. Right.
He started in Dead Lake, not Deadpool or
Yeah.
Dead Hot Tub.
Yeah, Jason Statham is 56.
He would have been a great Batman, Scott Adkins, I would think.
He was a Batman in John Wick 4.
Ah, do you know what? Obviously he's not under 40. If we want Expendables 5, I think Christian Bale could suddenly turn up in it.
Yeah.
I want Christian Slater to be in something.
Oh yeah, do you know, I really liked Christian Slater. He just sort of disappeared.
Christian Slater was in a movie with John Cena and that came out recently with John Cena and the girl from Community,
Wow, I don't know that one.
Alison Brie.
Who is Christian Slater? Why not recognize him? Give me a movie, guys.
Jesus, what was
It's been a
Christian?
while since he's been in stuff. True
Yeah, I'm trying to
Romance.
think what you'd know. Christian Slater.
Interview with a Vampire.
Let's
I
find
don't
like really famous roles that he did. Like he was like on the verge of becoming a massive action star in the 90s.
He was in Ferngully,
Yeah.
but I saw Ferngully,
Like-
I never recognized his voice.
He was Will Scarlet in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He was in Broken Arrow with John Travolta. Has John Travolta been in the Expendables yet?
I don't-
Or Nicolas Cage?
No.
Where is Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, now that's an
Nicolas
action
Cage
star.
is doing Nicolas Cage things in his own universe.
Yeah, true.
Well, have you seen that movie of the unbearable whatever it is?
Yeah, Unbearable Talent.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
such a good
that one's
movie. Yeah, I love that film. Okay, let's have a look what we'd know.
I'm looking through it. There's not much.
What? Okay, hang on. So Broken Arrow. Let's have a look. Hard Rain. Hard Rain's a good
Wesley.
movie. Let's have a look. What else? Interview with the Vampire. No, I guess not terribly much. Young Guns. Yeah, so okay, so he was kind of from that.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, there was like the late 80s. You know, there was like a bunch of things where he was like a rising star. But yeah, gosh, yeah, Christian Slater.
There was one show or movie he was in that he was really good in, and I can't remember or find the name of it.
I think Brad
For the last
Pitt,
5.
will Brad Pitt count as an action star?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, Brad Pitt could do it. We have assembled. There are so many new Expendables that they could be in this.
Although, David, like, it doesn't really feel like the icons of the 80s, in a sense, like, have a huge impact that the people from 2000, even though
Here's the weird thing I noticed, right? With the 80s, the actors split into two. People that appear in Expendables and people that appeared in Ocean's 11.
Oh, Clooney? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no crossover, like, there's only like one or two.
Oh yeah, there's no Matt Damon. Who else was in in Oceans? So Clooney, Pitt, Damon, Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle isn't in the Expendables though.
Yeah, he was in it. Although I like him, that's why I nailed that.
They're just.
Clooney, Pitt,
We desperately need new action stuff. Look, Liam Neeson is another one that hasn't been in Expendables yet. But
Wait,
Liam Neeson
Liam
hasn't.
Duncan.
I don't think he has.
Yeah,
I thought you said Liam Hemsworth.
Liam Hemsworth is. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Liam Neeson became an action star very later in his life. He was the 2000s action star, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, like Taken was like 2008, and he was already like 104 years old. It's just crazy.
I love the latest movie when he had to jump over the fence. They had to do so many jump cuts just to make that a thing, like jumping over the
oh
fence.
my! Do you know what? I did not mind Taken 2, but they obviously were like, well, let's just make this like a 12. So let's cut. And by the time of Taken 3, it makes no sense whatsoever. Watching that film is hard work. And Forrest Whitaker is in it. And in some scenes, he's like got a lollipop. In another one, he's got a toothpick. In another, he's playing with string. And it's like, why do they keep showing these? And it never comes to anything. They keep showing close-ups of things that he's fiddling with for no reason.
I think right now, I would say the action stars are WWE wrestlers. John Cena, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And they're all 50.
That's the sad part, David. I didn't say it was a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, they in the 2000s, they were the replacements for the 80s Arnolds and Sylvester Stallone. Like John Cena, Rock, Batista, they were the guys. And they broke into movies and they decided to do comedy movies instead.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
How about Shang-Chi? Like, Samuel, what do you call it?
Shang-Chi. I can't remember the actor's name.
Yeah, the actor.
But what else has he done? Has he?
He's doing a movie with John Cena.
Well, I'm getting a recurring theme here that John Cena, if you're in a movie with him, it's just kind of death for your career. Who was the other guy you said a minute ago, Dev? Someone did a movie.
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater. Oh my God, yeah. It's like John Cena's just taking whatever he can get. Dave Bautista is like, no, I want to be a serious actor. And he's like working with all these great directors. John Cena's just like, give me some credits. I'm trying to catch up to Dwayne. I need more credits.
Although I would say that John Cena's acting ability in Peacemaker was far better than anything as Batista has done.
To me, that's like Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. John Cena and Peacemaker are like, they're one and the same.
Yeah, that is true. But again, John Cena cried. That was the big thing. He has an ego.
I would see like Total Bellas and stuff, like all the like Kardashian style go with Cena, right? And he acts like he's taking real life.
Oh.
that is him.
Okay, I've got something interesting here. So, guys, check this out. This might just be like user generated, so not like a article, but it's on the Internet Movie Database. And apparently this was created 10 years ago. And the article, the topic is the top 25 next generation action stars. So we're gonna have to wrap up after this, but let's check out, see if this list is at all accurate. So we can give a few thoughts, but there's 25 to power through. The top one they've got is Jeremy Renner. Fair or not? Were they correct or not?
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
No.
Now, obviously,
Acting star.
he was in a Bourne movie that didn't do that well because Matt Damon wasn't in it, and I don't know what else he did other than Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Okay, look, check this out. The second one on their list is Aaron Paul.
Who?
Oh my God, he played Jesse in Breaking Bad. He didn't make it. Okay.
He didn't need speed, right?
I only remember him from Need for Speed.
Charlie Hunnam.
He's a really good actor.
Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I don't know him, to be honest.
Charlie Hunnam's good.
Oh my God, and number 4 on this list is Dwayne Johnson. Well, they were wrong. He should have been number 1. Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I would say, yeah, they were somewhat correct. He's still in the picture. What is it he's about to be? What is it?
Oh.
The Marvel film. Yeah, the Craven, you're right. Tom Hardy, I'd say they were right there with Venom and a few other things. Ryan Gosling, actually, yeah. Like, amazingly. Yeah, Blade Runner and stuff.
Blade Runner.
And isn't he in like that? What's that? That stuntman thing. Yeah.
Man, a full guy.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
always remember him from La La Land, okay? I just can't. He will
Okay.
always be the guy from La La Land.
Oh, then they've got this guy whose name I couldn't pronounce early. He was in the Raid 2, Iko Uwais. Okay.
Yeah, he's a really good.
I don't know him at all, though, to be honest. Then Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Action star?
Nah, well, obviously he was Robin in Batman, and did he do another Nolan film? He was in Inception, right?
Yeah.
Did he do another one?
Looper.
Looper? Was that it?
Yeah.
But that wasn't Nolan, was it?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think that Luca was Nolan.
Okay, I'm going to click on him just to find out what he did. Whatever happened to Joseph Gordon-Levitt? So
Ryan
he
Johnson
was in.
says Looper.
Oh, I've got to click again. Oh, that's
Why is
crazy.
Brendan Fraser not in those lists? In the 2000s, he was there.
No, he was already as someone. This was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, his time had already come and gone, unfortunately. Okay, let's go back to the list, see who else they've got. Jamie Bell from Billy Elliot. I think that one's wrong. Don't have a clue who he is. Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. She's done a few bits here and there.
Kick-ass.
Yeah.
Kick-ass. Girl.
Chris Evans is number 12 on the list. But to be fair, though, by this point he'd already done the Avengers, but I don't know what he does anymore.
He was in...
the Netflix series.
Knives Out.
Okay, I'm going to power through these. Elizabeth Olsen, obviously. Idris Elba. He's never quite made it to the level... He has never made it quite to the level I think he should have done.
Agreed.
But I think he can count him as an action star. If you can put him in an action movie, I think he'll be fine.
For Knuckles.
Yeah,
Thor, Knuckles.
okay.
And wait, he was in the series Luther though, which I
Yeah,
think
but it's a series.
Yeah.
It's a series. Like they may have made a movie.
Exactly, it's really
I think that's one of the problems in the 2000s. There were like lot of good TV stars, like Jensen Ackles. He would have been a great action star if he would have made it in the movies. They were only doing rom-coms with TV stars those days, so that's the problem. I think that's why they couldn't even make it.
Okay, so the order this person's got here, it's actually starting to ramp up. So they should have revised their order. But after this, we have Michael B. Jordan, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jamie Foxx, Josh Hutcherson. I don't know who he is, to be honest. Oh, Hunger Games. Hunger Games.
That was in the Mockingjay.
Oh, this
and all
one
those.
was a flop. Joel Kinnaman. He was RoboCop, right? And then was he also in Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, nah, he was almost. Sam Claflin, Snow White and the Huntsman. No, I don't know him. Jai Courtney. Ugh. Right, no. He is. Let's see what good old Jai's up to nowadays. Taylor Kitsch. Who was he?
Yeah, he's the one that was in the major flop, John Carter. He was the lead.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he was Gambit. He was Gambit, right?
Oh yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he was Gambit.
Kit Harington and then Kellen Lutz. Apparently in Twilight. Let's see what Jai Courtney is up to nowadays. Okay, so Jai Courtney, to show how much of an action star he is now, his most recent credit was a TV show in which he played narrator. Right, and that's probably the best place for him. And then let's see. I don't know what this is. Kaleidoscope. This is 8 episodes. He's doing lots of TV stuff. Yeah, Suicide Squad 2, where they blew him up, was his last big movie.
Also, Kellen Lutz was in Expendables 3.
Oh, okay. Expendables 3. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Still need to see the fourth one.
I also think Luke Evans, after he did Dracula Untold, they should have, again, Dark Universe fell apart. I think he would have been a good action star as well, although he was miscast as guest star in Beauty and the Beast.
Do you know, from that Dark Universe, the only one I think's got promise is that Tom Cruise fella. He seems like he could go places.
Now, he was the one who destroyed it, David. Who thought it was a good idea to bring him to a monster movie? I mean, like, again, the stunts are fun, but he is the most out of place guy in that film, and he's just playing like his Mission Impossible character in a mummy movie, which doesn't work. And when you, like, a lot of people shit on Brendan Fraser when he came out, but like that worked because it's funny and fun. Like, Brendan Fraser's the guy who saw the mummy and went, out of that.
Do you know, I read an interview with Brendan Fraser, or a snippet, a couple of days back, and it was like, when they were making that film, they were like, are we overacting? Are we, like, doing this too big? And they're like, no, when you see what you're reacting to, it'll make sense. And whoever, if it was the director, whoever told Brendan Fraser, he obviously hired Brendan Fraser because he was a big, over-the-top actor anyway, and was like, you can't go big enough, because when you see what the mummy...
Go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I would say he actually did as good with the classic monster than anybody else, because he did Mummy, and he also did Van Helsing, again, just a hit. I think that where he went wrong was probably Scorpion King. Afterwards, like, his films kind of went to the Scorpion King sequel. Oh man, bring that guy back. Team him up with Michael Bay and we'll have an awesome 2000 film.
They were going to bring him back in Batgirl, but they got cancelled.
He was doing Batgirl.
Yeah, he was Firefly.
Oh, wow. Ooh, okay, that would have been something. What's wrong with you, BB? They made you money. They were great people.
The movie was complete. They deleted it.
Yeah. One day it will sneak out. That's one of like the biggest travesties ever. Even if it was this was the thing. Look, whatever the situation.
One Scooby-Doo movie, David, did sneak out. It was Scooby-Doo and then some superhero movie, which was a very good movie. After the Velma, was like heavy.
Okay, so guys, we can say, because it's a year later now. Now, when we discussed in the past about, I don't think they should release The Flash because Ezra Miller's problematic. I'm so pleased they released that movie. Because one, I genuinely enjoyed it, but two, there was so much to enjoy about it. So that's why, however good or bad Batgirl was, it should still be out there.
Yeah. The most enjoyable part was the last 10 minutes, with everyone else showing up, like Gal Gadot, like, I forgot his name,
Batman, Ben Affleck.
Oh,
George Clooney.
It was the nostalgia around Michael Keaton as Batman for me.
Yeah.
That's what made that for me.
They had three Batmans. They had Michael Keaton, George Clooney, and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and Adam West. Like, the way they did that whole multiverse thing was so bad. I'm going to need to wrap in a second, but I could go into my whole rant before. Like the CGI Christopher Reeve, they just needed something where these characters actually just stood up in a line and then ran into battle. You know, not just that you're seeing them on like big globes, like it's basically a TV screen.
Here's a game server of all these characters.
But I love that afterwards, Tim Burton was like, who do they think they are to use my Batman? And then Nicolas Cage was like, that isn't what I shot. And literally everyone just poured in on that movie, shitting on it.
Even Jay Garrick from the Flash TV show was like, they didn't ask permission to use more footage.
Yeah. Like, he allowed Ezra Miller into his show, and then they didn't return the favour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, a really quick thing that you announced like 2 days ago. In the new Superman with James Gunn, right?
Yeah.
They've announced that they're going to have Christopher Reeve's son in it.
Christopher Reeve's son?
Yes.
That's awesome. Is he even an actor?
No, he's a news reporter, but he looks exactly like Christopher Reeve.
Oh my god, I need to find this before we end this show. Christopher Reeve's son. Okay, let's...
I say Brendan Routh.
Holy shit, is this him? He really looks like his dad. Okay, let's bring it up, Look at that. Oh my god, look at that. He really does look like him.
I mean, David, I still think like Brendan Routh is a better son to him.
Was a better son?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so guys, we're going to have to begin to wrap things here. If you have any geeky recommendations, let them know, because we're going to go to our outros. I can see that we forgot to do any other quickfire rounds. So, Gerald, you haven't been on in a while. You're this week's Geek of the Week. There you go. Now,
Oh,
that's how we roll. Okay, no fairness whatsoever. No, wait, no, Gerald, I retract it, because otherwise it'll teach people not to come on for a while. Right, okay, good. I'm joking. It's all good. Gerald, where can the people find you?
on Instagram at Gerald Geek, here on Geek Battle more often, I hope, and also on Xstreamed, just around the corner.
Okay, Dev.
They can find me on Twitch and TikTok under the name FWDAT, and my geek recommendation is Red One, which is a movie about Santa Claus, starring Dwayne Johnson and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Wow.
Saw the trailer.
Okay, Cap.
You can find me on Sodies, where I sing and dance, I throw myself in the bucket, and I work with puppets, and you can check out my later video of Inside Out. I'm doing all the girlish voices and doing a sketch about social media, so check that video out. And my recommendation is about the better son of Christopher Reeves, Brendan Routh. There's a movie called Dylan Dog, which is based off an Italian comic book about like vampires, monsters, and stuff like that. Which is a very good, solid movie that he did after Superman. I think it's the only solid movie that he did after Superman. So go check that out.
Okay. Oh gosh, what have I done? Okay, and my name is Dave Stansky. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Oh, look at this. You can't see them, but I appreciate that you're holding up the books. Gerald, check out my books, The Extreme Improv, Big Book of Improv Games, The Improviser's Bucket List, and The Ultimate Guide to Creating Virtual Theatre, all of which are available on Amazon. And I have more that I'm working on literally this week, so there'll be more soon. So, with this, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, live long and prosper. May the force